Hi, Will Hargrove, Corney Barrow, Head of Fine Wine. I want to talk to you a little bit about Domaine Labruyere. I have a couple of bottles from my cellar to talk through, but mostly I just want to give a little bit of a background to the whole estate. It's one of the estates that Famille Labruyere own, and in fact was the founder of all of that, with Edouard Labruyere very much at the helm. They also have Domaine Jacques Prieur up based in Meursault, with an amazing array of holdings in Burgundy. Chateau Rouget in Pomerol, and now, as of a couple of years ago, Champagne JM Labruyere. But Domaine Labruyere is the bedrock estate, and was founded in 1850. It's where Edouard was born, and it's also an estate that happens actually to have completely changed my perception of Gamay and my thoughts on Beaujolais. Which I think is an achievement from their point of view, but once you try the wines, you'll know exactly why. To talk a little bit about the team there, Edouard is very hands-on and lives nearby. Nadine Gublin, who's actually been there since 1990 making the wines, as well as a couple of hours north in Meursault. And also then we have Michael Rouve, who's very much chef de culture and chef de cave, which means both in charge in the vineyards and the winery, and obviously then Nadine comes in and helps in the winery as well, and consults and gives her views. And Nadine is a very strong woman, and is very fond of saying that she doesn't make Gamay, she makes Moulin Vent. And when you taste the wines and you understand the wines here, I think you'll know exactly what she means by that. 2018 as a vintage, which is the offer that we have just coming up, was quite wet in the sort of early spring, sort of late winter, early spring, which gave good reserves, which was a good thing because, as we all know, 2018 was a fairly hot year in the summer, and in fact the harvest started as early as the 20th of August, but as they carried on through the end of August and early September, the weather was set wonderfully fair and could be picked exactly as they wanted to. So an exciting vintage. Two very different vintages from the wines I have here, which is Carquelin 14 and Le Clos 2013. Those vintages were much cooler than 18, but there we go. We'll come on to these wines in a little bit. So to talk really about the range of the estate, essentially, as the offer that you'll see says, there are 5 wines, 2 of which put Gamay at the forefront. There's the Bourgogne Gamay, which is a little bit, if you were in Burgundy, would be the Bourgogne Rouge equivalent. And then there is the Cour de Terroir, which is the equivalent of the village wine, and that is made from 10 hectares. It's all destemmed, so it's all berry fruit, and is about being both a translation of Moulin Vent as a place, as the cru, but also of Gamay itself. So those wines are both a great introduction. They drink relatively early, but we are a million miles away here from Beaujolais Nouveau and carbonic maceration and blue fruit and maybe the things that I wasn't so keen on when I thought I didn't like Gamay as much as I now realise I do. So there's that. What we then have is that we move to the 3 single vineyard wines. And they're not classified as such, but I would very much put that into 2 Premier Crus and a Grand Cru. The first of those Premier Crus is the Champ de Cour. It's a southeast facing site, it's 1.5 hectares, and again it's destemmed. It makes wonderful wines that will repay that little bit of aging. You can approach them early if you want to, but I think they will definitely reward 2 or 3 years in the cellar before drinking absolutely beautifully. And then from there we move on to Carquelin, which is the single vineyard we have here. And as I say, I would put this as a very high Premier Cru. It's delicious. It's got fruit that is both red and black with a bit of crunch to it. One of the things I think I realise how much I love Gamay now is that when made in this way, you have a wonderful fullness of fruit, fullness of flavour, and you do have a texture to the wine, but you don't have a sense of weight or a sense of heaviness. So that is very much evident in Carquelin, and there's a lovely little bit of savoury fruit there too. and it's a cracking site. There's only one other owner, so they share it. 1.75 hectares, south facing, and a wine that something like the 2014 now I'd say is absolutely in its spot. It's perfect sort of time to drink it in that sort of 4 to 7 or 8. You could keep it way beyond, but it depends if you know what you're waiting for on that. So that's the fourth wine in the range, the Carcalan, and that brings us on to Le Clos. Le Clos is a monopole, which is always exciting. So it's a vineyard owned by the only people who make Le Clos de Moulin à Vent are Domaine Labruyere. It's always an exciting thing in Burgundy to have sole ownership. It is certainly, or would be, where they classify this way, the Grand Cru. And this is where you get a sense more of Beaujolais' placing between the Northern Rhone to the south and Burgundy to the north. With the other wines, you can definitely see a leaning to the Burgundian style and a lightness and an elegance. Le Clos, whilst it does have that refreshing capability and it doesn't have heaviness, it very much looks, I think, to the Northern Rhone as much as it does to Burgundy. There's a little bit more iron, a little bit more grip, and there's that lovely slaty sort of feel to the wine, but some real substance and texture. It's already a more, and I probably shouldn't say this these days, probably a more masculine style in terms that it's got bigger, broader shoulders. And there is definitely more texture, a little bit more grip. I think all of these wines are great for just giving a little bit of air to. I think, taking a glass out, a couple of hours before you want to drink it is a perfect way of doing that. And I would always serve them, as I think with most wines, a little bit on the cool side. There's nothing wrong with 10 minutes in the fridge just to cool them, or bring them straight up from the cellar if you're lucky enough to have that, Eurocard, whatever, and have them and watch them come out of themselves in glass. So that is Le Clos, just under a hectare, so around about 2 acres only, and is just an absolute gem. And I think if you're looking to start a cellar and you want wines that are going to age in that sort of 8, 10, 15 and well beyond, I'm sure, sort of category, but without breaking the bank, and this is £200 in bond for 6 bottles, it's exactly that sort of thing. So that's the lineup, the 5 wines. As I said, they're wines I absolutely adore, and these are both from my own sort of personal cellar, and I'll be enjoying them at supper a little bit later. I think that they are wonderfully versatile. I think that they're stunning value for money, and they are also, particularly with the Carcalan and particularly the Clos, really age-worthy wines that you can enjoy a great deal. So to all the team at Domaine Labruyere and to you, thank you very much.